Hey everybody, welcome to Peace Crystals Academy. I'm your instructor, Christy Brower, and tonight we're going to talk about meditating with crystals. So there are lots of things to do with stones, and if you're like me, you love them, you collect them, you have many, you feel a connection to them, but you may wonder, what is their purpose? What are things that you can do with them? And so that's one of the reasons that I started Peace Crystals Academy, was just to share some of the things that you can do with stones. And one of them is to meditate with a stone. Now, why would you meditate with a stone? Well, you might be trying to connect with the energy of that stone specifically. You might wonder if that stone has a message for you, or if the energy of that stone is good for you in some way. So you might choose a stone based on something that you're working on. For example, I have a piece of labradorite right here. This is a stone I like to meditate with. It's a great stone for improving your intuition and for improving your divine connection in the crown chakra. And so it's a fun stone to meditate with, because you can hold it during meditation and ask it for messages. You can ask it to bring in information. You can ask it to share anything that it may have, and you may ask it just to get to know the energy of that stone. If you're a healer and you work with stones, it's a great idea to meditate with your stones to get to know them and get a feel for, what is each stone good for? How does it help you heal yourself or someone else? It can also help you to answer a question or to improve something in your energy body. You can also, look at a more specific purpose. And so if you, excuse me, if you, say, for example, are struggling with some grief, this is a little rose quartz heart that is a nice little meditation stone. You might hold that stone during meditation in order to benefit from the properties of the stone itself. And so it may, heal your heart chakra. It's a great one to use when, you're struggling with your connection to yourself, or you're struggling with relationships in general. You might also hold a stone during meditation if you're struggling with grounding. Now, you might ask yourself, do we need to be grounded during meditation? And the answer is actually yes. We function much better all the time if we are grounded in everything that we do. You don't have to sacrifice grounding for spiritual connection. It's more like, it's not like when we're connected spiritually that we float above the ground. It's more like we become like a tree and we get taller. But that really is the healthier way to do it, because we need to stay connected to our physical bodies. We need to feel connected, stay connected to the earth, even in meditation. And so if you find that when you meditate, you feel floaty and disconnected and forgetful and struggle with coming back, you might want to hold a grounding stone when you meditate. So this is a piece of banded agate right here. This is a great grounding stone, and something that I would use during meditation if I was struggling to stay grounded. So remember always in meditation that the goal is to get taller. It's not to float up, it's to get taller. So think of yourself like a tree that you're growing and connecting higher and higher. You could use something like this. If you want to work on a particular chakra, then you choose a stone, the color of that chakra, obviously. This is a stone that I love to use for the third eye because of its shape. So this is a little piece of amethyst from Uruguay. And it's rough on this side, it's polished and flat on this side. So if I'm working on my third eye and my intuition, I would meditate with this stone right here on my third eye. Generally, you can lay stones out on your body during a meditation. If you lay flat, you can. So here's a piece of yellow calcite that could go on your solar plexus. And I've got a piece of green calcite that could go on your heart. Here's a little blue sapphire that could go on your throat. If you're working on a particular chakra, or you could lay all of them out. You could do a stone on every chakra and do a meditation. If you were to do that, you would simply experience the stones, pay attention to what you feel. How does the stone bring a difference in energy? How does it shift energy around you? You don't necessarily have to ask the stones to do anything other than just to have a natural interaction with your physical body and your energy body. Or you can go deeper than that if you want to. It really is just about noting the difference in your energy body. What kind of a shift is there when you bring a stone into play? I personally like to meditate with stones in my heart chakra. So even if this is a third eye and crown stone, this labradorite, I would hold it in my heart. Just hold it. Stones, in order for energy exchange to happen with stones, they need to be in contact with your body. So holding them in your hands, holding them against your heart or your third eye or wherever is important, that there should be physical contact with the stone. So I want to give you an example of what a meditation might sound like with a stone. So if you can and you have something nearby, grab a stone, something that maybe that you love or that you feel connected to. And let's do this. So the first thing I do before I meditate with a stone is I clear the stone, because the stones always are picking up energy from around them. They're picking up energy from you. And, my stones sit all around computers in my office. And so, of course, they're picking up the energy from the computers and, anyone else that is I'm interacting with. So my favorite way to clear a stone is to beam white light from my third eye into the stone to clear it of any stagnant or unnecessary energy. So just close your eyes and bring your attention to your third eye. And then beam white light into the stone. And simply use your intention that this white light will release all negative, unnecessary, low vibrating, stagnant, whatever words you want to use, energy from the stone. And you just give it a few seconds and let that energy clear that stone of everything that it's holding that doesn't belong to it. That really is, you could just say foreign energy, because what we want to release is the energy the stone has picked up, because the stone has its own energy, and that's what we're going to interact with today. Okay, then when you feel that your stone is clear, and you may feel it, you may see it in your mind's eye, you may just feel a shift in some way. There are lots of different ways to feel that a stone is clear. I tend to think that most people just naturally know that a stone is clear. They just feel that it is. So then let's do a little meditation with our stones in our hearts. So hold your stone to your heart chakra and just close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Just allow your body to settle and your mind to go quiet. Now bring your attention to your heart chakra and take a moment to notice your physical body here. How does your physical body feel when you're in contact with this stone? Just note any physical sensations you might be experiencing. Are you feeling an openness or an expansion here? Are you feeling restriction? Are you feeling pain? Does it feel good? Does it feel like there's a calming energy here? It could be anything, and it doesn't necessarily always have to be positive. Like right now, this labradorite is causing a sharp pain in my high heart chakra, which is next to my heart chakra. Now, to me, I know that means it's just activating my high heart, because whenever my high heart chakra is activated, I have just a brief little sharp pain. And I'm feeling that. I'm feeling this labradorite really interacting and opening up my heart and my high heart. Okay, now take a moment to ask your stone a question. You can ask a very broad question like, what do you have to tell me? You can ask a specific question if there's something that you want to know. But remember that the stone has an energy all its own, and that it has a message to share, just like all other things that we come into contact with that have energy have a message to share. So ask your stone if it has a message for you. You will feel the message in different ways. It may just be an inner knowing. It may be a thought that comes to mind or a visual that comes to mind. You might hear something. This is all just about accessing our intuition with a stone. My stone is pointing out to me that I have not done a meditation like this in quite a while, and that it feels really good, and that I need to be doing it more. My stone is pointing out to me that I've been having a lot of anxiety, which is true. I've made a lot of changes in my life recently, and I'm still adjusting to those. And just being reminded that the work that I do with stones is very much as beneficial to me as it is for everyone else, and that I need to remember to do that work for me, which is funny, and very, very true. So just think for a minute, feel for a minute. What is the message from your stone? Feel free when we're done with this meditation to share in the chat if you want to, what in the chat, in the video chat, what your message is. So you can then expand things further if you want to with the stone, and you can ask it a specific question. Like I'm going to ask my stone, what can I do to help reduce my anxiety, and see what it says. I'm getting a pretty good call out from this stone. It's pretty funny. I'm being shown that I need to work on grounding, which I have noticed that my root chakra is struggling a bit. It's also showing me that I need to stop so much multitasking. So I have a tendency to be on my computer while watching TV or my phone. I have a real problem with doing only one thing at once. It's something that producing radio kind of created for me, because it's a constant multitasking job. And so I'm being shown, of course, sitting with my stones, but I'm also just being shown doing one thing at a time. Valuable advice, and something that I don't always remember to do. Remember that stones have a spirit in them. It's why we're attracted to them. We know it's there. We feel it. Stones that make us feel good, stones that we love, that we love to hold, that we love to wear, that we love to carry with us in different ways, that we feel that spirit. There is something alive. There is a life in a stone. We know that, or you know that, or you wouldn't be here. I mean, honestly, you wouldn't be in this group and you wouldn't be in this class if you didn't know that to be the case. So we truly can take some time to get to know the spirits in our stones and to get to know the energy there. I don't know about you, but when I connect with this stone, I feel like I go to a completely different place. Like it's a little bit of a struggle to pull myself back in order to speak, because I have to remember I'm on video and I'm teaching. I'm not just doing this meditation for myself. So I want to encourage you to just continue this work with your stones, and we're gonna come back from this meditation so we can talk a little bit. So just move your stone away from your body. You can keep your eyes closed for another moment. Take a couple of deep breaths. And wiggle your fingers and your toes. Feel yourself come back. Open your eyes. Okay, and that is a meditation with a stone. It's very simple, and it's can be really beneficial. If you struggle with quieting your mind when you meditate, meditating with a stone is a great idea, because it gives you something to focus on. It gives your attention somewhere to go. You may have noticed also that there were some physical sensations around coming into contact with the stone. You feel some things and sort of keep you connected and focused. Feel free to use any stone that you love, and it doesn't have to be, I mean, you can have your stone that is your meditation stone. I mean, you don't have to do different stones if you don't want. You can choose one particular stone that you love, and that's your stone that you meditate with. But there is an amplifying of energy that raises our vibration. It improves our connection to our higher selves and to the divine and to, wherever these messages are coming from for you, that when your vibration is raised, it's easier to connect. And stones will do that for us. If you've heard me teach about stones before, you know that one of the theories behind working with stones is the idea of entrainment. And entrainment is the idea that two energies will match frequency when they come into contact with one another. So we are, as people, we are variable frequencies. It means that our frequency changes all the time. Our vibration bumps up and down throughout the day, depending on what we're doing. So when we come into contact with a fixed vibration, which literally it's a rock, it is a fixed vibration, it will encourage our energy body to match up to it, which is a really positive thing. And so you go from bouncing around to staying in one place, to staying connected to one energy, and a stone can do that for you. So I encourage you to explore this with stones. You'll find some stones you feel more connected to than others. That's always the case in all crystal healing and work with stones, is that some things you'll love and other things you won't, and that it's fine. Work with the things that you love. I really like to, when I get a new stone, spend some time with it, meditate with it, sort of get to know the energy of it, because that helps me to know how will it be the most beneficial to me and to my clients, and to help me as a healer to get to know the stone. The stone this labradorite is very new to me, and so I'm just getting to know it. The other stone I've spent a lot of time with over the last few months is this stone right here. This banded agate stone. I've had it, well, actually almost a year now. I bought it at a rock and gem show in April of last year, and I've spent a lot of time with this stone. As a healer, I do a lot. Almost all of my clients are by distance, and so I hold stones when I work on people. So I like to get to know my stones before I do that, to better understand them. But I think that's helpful for anyone, whether you're a healer or not, to get to know your stones and get a better idea of how they can be supportive of you, and also to recognize that they have a message to share, and that is how you get that message. In the chat, a couple of people shared. Tara said that her stone said to let go and let things happen. Nice. Yes, a really important message that we don't all listen to sometimes. Christina says that she felt peace, love, and light from her stone. And I mean, what a better way to get you into a good space for meditating than to feel a peaceful, loving energy. That's awesome. Renee says, meditation with carnelian, I got a pain when I placed it on my heart too. Yeah, okay, so one of the things to know about that from an energy standpoint is that sometimes a pain can be, for me, it's activating my high heart, and it might be for you too. It could also be that there's a block in your energy there, that there's a little energy that needs to be moved out of the way, that needs to be moved on, and the energy of the stone does that for you. It's very common to have a little bit of a sharp pain as energy moves or shifts or changes in your body. So that might be why, Renee, but that's very cool. So those are some recommendations for meditation with stones. You can try that technique with any stone. You can also try that technique with any stone on any chakra. I prefer the heart because I feel like that's where I get the most communication with stones. But if you feel that you get more in a different place, or you feel like your third eye, is where you receive your intuitive energy, and you want to do that, go for it. Any chakra will work. Do what is the most comfortable for you. I think with meditation, one thing that's really important is comfort, that physically you are comfortable in. And so holding a stone in your heart might not be, another part of your body might be. Sometimes it's easier to lay down to hold a stone. The other thing I will leave you with is that stone size does not matter. I used some larger stones today because they're easier to see. But if you are a person who loves small stones, you know that, an emerald is an emerald is an emerald. All stones have the same, all stones of each variety carry the same energy, regardless of the size and regardless of the quality. Doesn't matter if you've got AAA grade quality anything. It's the same energy as if it is, B, C, D grade. And the thing about those AAA grade qualities is that some of those stones have been treated with radiation, and when they have, they'll feel dead to you. You won't feel anything from them because They literally are just a rock without a spirit at that point. So lower grade stones actually are generally better to work with because they've had less interference. So that's my class for tonight. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you next time here in the Peace Crystals Academy.